got Shirley Papanui Community Board, and Mike Davidson sends his apologies, and we've got 2 sets of minutes, and they'll both be moved by Pauline and Ali, moved and seconded. I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried. Spreydon Heathcote Community Board.
And Phil's an apology for
Feeling a wee bit.
being unwell too.
Yeah.
Phil,
Said that he's just feeling a bit like
Phil's just gone out for crook.
he's sitting outside.
There's terrible bugs going around.
Yes. Yep. I said if you wanted to go home, there's 16 people that are more than happy to take him.
Right. So we've got 2 sets of minutes, so they'll be moved and seconded, well, by Tim and helped out by Andrew on this occasion. So I'll open that up to you. Any issues you'd like to raise with us?
There's not much that we'd like to raise, but I'm going to comment about the playground and a little bit about disability, and my deputy chair, whose name I constantly forget, Melanie, is going to talk about the Youth Council and the Youth Community Board. Don't tell me that's a sign of age, because it isn't. We had a discussion around the playground in Buchan Park. This is an attempt to rescue a situation that became unideal, and the emphasis placed on it by our board was, instead of having things that require parents to push kids who sit passively, we should be having things that encourage kids to play and explore and develop on their own, so that the parents can have civilised conversations sitting at conversational tables near to the playground. And this particularly applies to grandparents as well, who take up so much of the caring. And we also changed some of the recommendations as to plantings. We'd like our children to be able to lie on the grass, lie in the dirt, and look up at trees that are their own trees and indigenous to New Zealand. I don't want to preempt Burwood Pegasus, but they are talking about the disability strategy and all the other related policies. And I just want to note that 3 years ago, our board asked for disability to be on the agendas when all applications or proposals are put forward for developments, and that they be a box, as is Māori consultation and concerns. And we were told that the new templates that were being introduced would not allow for this, but I still think that there's a real gap in what comes before the board and the council in terms of disability being acknowledged for every proposal formally and being seen on our agendas as having been looked at and responded to.
Right. And I was just going to give an update because we'd mentioned about the Spreydon Heathcote Youth Community Board and just the members exchange, that they've now elected co-chairs, which I was at that meeting, which was really cool, and a treasurer, a secretary. So what we would like to see, and I believe that Taylor Reese from Youth Voice has maybe been to some of the community boards to actually ask or want to work with other boards to make sure that there are youth community boards throughout the city. They're only just starting and they want to, form a memorandum of understanding with our board, but I think that they have a lot of good things to say, so I'd like everyone to sort of keep open-minded about building that within the city, because they've got a lot of energy and a lot more intelligence than a lot of us, actually. So and then they really do. And then the other comment I just wanted to say was about the Apawaho Heathcote River Network celebrated its 1-year anniversary recently as well. So Helene on our board's been doing a lot of good work on that, and just to keep that in mind as well, work on the Heathcote and keeping our waterways clean. So,
just in terms of that, the accessibility thing, because I prefer accessibility than disability, because it focuses on...
You're absolutely right. For instance, I find it difficult, and I'm not very disabled, but I find it difficult to get up and down those stairs without a handrail. Yeah,
look, the thing is that this room has to be redesigned. We've got 3 more councillors coming, so... the deputy's probably going to be up here with the mayor, and we're probably going to have we're probably going to have, because that then frees up a space there, because the deputy mayor's got 2 councillor seats. So there will be change. So it is possibly an opportunity to think about whether we should have more of people able to observe from here. But there are health and safety issues that you've got to take into account as well, but they're not generally in here. So, in fact, the building isn't very safe in that regard. It doesn't have a...
Every proposal that comes before us, we have to remember to ask the disability questions, Leanne. We have to say to ourselves, have they done disability accessibility? Have they looked at all the issues that's associated with it? And we have to remember that it should be automatic.
Yeah, but in terms of the building itself, I've spoken to a couple of the staff who have significant challenges getting around, and they say that this is the most accessible building they've ever worked in their entire life. Yeah. So a lot of the work has gone into making sure that it facilitates people, accessibility for people who work here, rather than people who potentially visit here. So there's a bit of work that needs to be done in that regard. But if you look at all of the counters downstairs, they're all at a level where people can, access. So
this building's one of the better ones.
So it is one of the better ones, but there is still more that can be done. I went to the Palms the other day, and they have done an entire reassessment of the entire building, and they've taken out barriers that weren't obviously they weren't barriers that I couldn't see them, but when you go in there now, it's just opened it up for everyone, and that's why I like the word accessibility, because it's actually about, it makes it accessible for everyone. People have disability at different times of their life in terms of getting around. If you're pushing a pram, it's the same as being in a wheelchair, So some of the challenges that people would face in a wheelchair are exactly the challenges that someone might feel after they've broken their leg after a skiing
I'll just say one more thing to bore you witless, Leanne, because I use the word disability accessibility because the City Council pinched the word the accessible city when the
the government did.
Well, the government did. Someone pinched it. So when you try and discuss the accessible city, it means that document, rather than talking about people with disability.
Yeah. But anyway, but I will have a talk to the Chief Executive about the framework of our decision-making papers, because I agree with you, we should be checking for accessibility. We do that as a council for our building, so whether that's something that we should be looking at when we're funding different projects, I think possibly makes good sense.
Well, we raised it with this playground, for instance.
And the other thing is that resilience and regeneration are 2 other ones, but we don't want any of them to be tick boxes. We want them to be real. Tim, sorry, your name just escaped me.
Yanni's been on about this longer than I have, and it's, we in our reports we have tick boxes, but they're not tick boxes. There's actually work done on legal, tangata whenua, financial, etc. To put in accessibility is just one of those things that we do automatically as a council. Would be totally logic to me, and so I don't know why we don't. It'd be great to move it forward, but as I said, Yanni's been on a lot longer than I have.
So we've asked for a regular report on the disability and accessibility to go to the CHED committee, which it's under its terms of reference as I understand it, and so we've got regular reporting now that should be happening, but also Tim and I have been meeting with the disability advisor at council and feeding in some of the same concerns that you have. So I think it's really a case of being able to elevate it, possibly formally, although I don't think we should need to do that. It should be inherent, but maybe we need a formal resolution that would help. I don't know, the Chief Executive might.
I think it's about the visibility of the things that are happening. So some of it will go to CHED, some of it's just inherent in the work that happens, such as in the consenting process and so forth. So perhaps what you need is some more visibility about the processes that are in place.
All right, I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.